The Cat movie's a page turner of everything that went wrong. It wrecked the musical's own fan base, it downplays catchy songs. It's a bedlam in a cinema, a gateway to despair. What made people love dogs much more? The Cat movies, right there.
The Cat movie, there's nothing like the Cat movie.
It has broken every sanity, it breaks the laws of gravity. It brings disgust, it brings fear as well, if you look at ugly stare.
Let's send those cats back to the pound, the Cat movies, right there.
Where the mice and the cockroaches, those cat puns will give you a scare. I said it once, I'll say it again. The Cat movies, right there.
The Cat movie, there's nothing like the Cat movie.
There's no value in its own story, a monster of depravity.
If you ever decide to watch this film, then brace yourself, beware.
You can name bad movies that made us the
Cat movies right there. Okay, everyone, that's good enough for a parody.
When are we gonna do Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
Spider-Man what? Greetings, Penelopes and Sylvesters. This is Mad Hair Patrick. So it has come to this. I never thought I'd ever decide to look over this movie and talk about it. No matter how long it's been since its film release, or how much you try to avoid anything related to it, it will forever be a memory. Originally began as a collection of poems called Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, it transcended into one of the biggest Broadway shows of all time, directed by Andrew Lloyd Webber. The 2019 Cats movie is one of the universally hated films in recent years. It not only got panned by critics, but it ultimately became a box office bomb, and Universal decided not to put anything Cats related into their considerations at the Oscars. Now usually I always review an animated project or a live action movie that's a tie-in to animation, but given how the use of CGI plays a bigger role in this movie, I might as well throw my hat into the ring. And believe it or not, there was originally supposed to be an animated Cats movie. Before the 2019 movie adaptation existed, Cats was originally going to be an anime film produced by Steven Spielberg's studio, Amblimation, a short-lived company that only made American Tail, Five Goes West, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, and Balto. However, the project was abandoned, and due to the three films I mentioned being box office bombs, Amblimation was shut down. Years later, Universal purchased the rights to Cats with Les Miserables director Tom Hooper in charge of the film. But when the trailer of the 2019 movie was released, it received negative reactions from audience due to its uncanny CGI in comparison to the early design of Sonic from the live-action movie. And like Sonic, it slightly got a patch update and it premiered on December 20th, 2019, but the reactions still remain intact. The movie will receive plenty of Razzie Awards for Worst Combo of any two half-feline, half-human hairballs, Worst Supporting Actor and Actress with James Corden and Rebel Wilson, Worst Screenplay, Worst Director, and finally Worst Picture. Welcome to another episode of The Wonder Reviews. Let's see why movies can only live once instead of 9. This is the 2019 Cats movie. It starts off in an alleyway where a cat named Victoria, played by Francesca Hayward, gets dropped off and meets a bunch of cats, or Jellicle cats as they call themselves. They then go about singing and meeting some other cats who are trying to be chosen by Old Deuteronomy, played by Judi Dench, so they can start a new life. Now before I discuss the story, I know there's a lot to say about the CGI, and just look at this! This is supposed to be a whimsical musical, not a horror film. I understand they didn't want to use the costumes and makeup like in the actual show because they want to make it realistic, but there's a fine line between anthropomorphic and realism. It tries so hard to be realistic by putting a human face on a cat's body, it already shatters the illusions. Even the costumes and makeup are more lifelike than wearing computer graphics because they're not just a bunch of cats that talk and walk on twos. They wear furry outfits, bright colors, and have other features that show they are part cat, part person. It gets even more scary when they use the CGI on other things like mice and cockroaches. Some of the green screen or scaling settings don't feel like they're even there. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, what about the plot? There isn't one. No, really, there's no actual story that progressed anything. The closest thing is that the cats are competing to be chosen to be reborn, but the movie doesn't tell everything that's going on and the point of these characters. All they do is just sing a song, and whenever they stop, a new character pops out, and then they start singing again about a particular cat and its traits. But it doesn't fully explain the characters very well and their purpose, like how does old Deuteronomy decide who gets chosen? Why do the cats neglect Grisabella? What does Jellicle even mean? The movie tries to liven things up with humor, specifically slapstick, but this is not even a comedy. It doesn't help either, it gets disgusting whenever it tries to seduce you. We ironically and unironically have enough attractive cats, thank you. Also, we don't need cat puns, that's not a requirement. And even though there's a bunch of characters in this movie, I barely relate to them or understand what they're going through. With a movie that doesn't have anything to progress and has some scary looks, it makes the characters one-dimensional and often unlikable. Though they have songs dedicated to who they are, they never fully address their purpose or goals in this movie. There's Mr. Mistopheles, the magical cat who has a huge crush on Victoria. Mungle Jerry and Rumble Teaser are the mischievous duo that are sometimes the villains. Old Deuteronomy is the elder that has to choose which cat can go to the Heaviside Layer. Grisabella is the outcast that wants to be reaccepted into the cat's tribe. Macavity is the evil magic cat that wants to take out the competition in order to be reborn because reasons. And everyone else competing for their new lives are only there to address their traits without explaining why they want a new life just so they can get caught up by Macavity's magic. When it comes to the acting, these performers are way too over the top in performing their roles and only here to lend their singing voice like Taylor Swift. The only character that may not be that bad is Victoria. She's not a good character since she contributes nothing to the story, but the way she sees and reacts to everything in her own perspective, you can tell she's just as confused as we are over what's going on. I will also give some credit to Judi Dench and Deborah Hutton's performances because they're the only ones that are not acting cartoonishly per se in this movie. As it is based on a musical, the songs are the highlights of Cats in general, but given the lack of story or character development and the disturbing imagery, the music is not enough to make up for everything. So let's discuss the songs in general. Now, by themselves, they are pretty good. I even listened to some of them from the actual Broadway after watching this. Yet the songs and the choreography don't seem to be as fun as they are supposed to be. Songs like Macavity, the Mystery Cat, Rum Tum Tugger, and the Gumby Cat song brings a sense of disgustingness for its seductiveness and innuendos. Others like Growl Tiger's Last Stand and Guess the Theater Cat doesn't seem to like laying out any enthusiasm. Some drag on what feels like an eternity like the Jellicle Ball and the finale itself. Are there any elements in the film I did like? The one thing that stands out to me are the sets because I had to admit it is a cool looking alleyway with some cat themed places. But that's the thing, why would any cat ever want to die, get a new life, and leave this place? There's enough food and milk to last a lifetime, there's good homes and furniture, and aside from that one human that appeared at the beginning of the movie, there are no other humans anywhere. It's clearly an abandoned place made especially for these felines. Once in a while, I get into some of the songs, particularly the hit song Memory and a few others, but the movie's tone is the true culprit of what's keeping these songs away from being fun, whimsical, and even expressive. Now, I've seen movies based on musical that brings me a lot of joy, like Little Shop of Horrors, Hairspray, Into the Woods, and Brigadoon, but this is a movie that can only bring lots of madness! The 2019 Cats movie is an uncomfortable adaptation and a disgrace to the Broadway show it was based off. The CGI is impossible to ignore on how uncanny it is, the performances are often cringy, there's no story to give us a reason why we should care about these characters, and the songs are not as charming due to the movie's tone. It's safe to say to just skip this movie entirely and just watch the actual musical. You can even check out the 1998 video movie. My only recommendation is for those who are really looking for those enjoyably bad movies like The Room, Sharknado, and Troll 2. This was seriously mad, and it gave me a terrible headache. But all I know is that this adaptation got itself a D-, and the only place it's going is to the flames of failure. Don't expect this to come back receiving a new life. So, would it have been better if this movie was fully animated and produced by Steven Spielberg and Amblimation? It would be less disturbing, but I wouldn't stretch it as far as it would be the greatest animated movie based on a musical. Cats just pretty much works like Wonderland from what I can research through its source material. It just wants to live in its own little whimsical, nonsensical world where it focuses on the journey aspect than being a story. Cats is the kind of property that can only translate well into a respectful media. When you move into a cinematic movie and cover it with CGI, it's not gonna land on its own feet. I'm Matt Harry-Patrick. Now, if you'll excuse me, my head needs to rest from all this Jellicle talk. What did I just watch? Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project every week. I'll see you soon.